Let's bring in Chris Bryant, should we? Hi, Chris. You saw obviously what happened last night. We heard from Jacob Rees-Mogg. He only needed one vote to win, and he got significantly more than that.
Well, yes, but last time when Theresa May faced a vote of no confidence, Jacob Rees-Mogg said that since more backbenchers had voted against her than for her, she had to resign immediately. So Jacob Rees-Mogg is frankly a terrible hypocrite. But this is one of the problems, I think, that the government have got at the moment, which is that, and Boris Johnson in particular has got at the moment, which is it's not as if he's got a really top-class front bench. I mean, it's a pretty drab, incompetent, tedious cabinet. And he's not got anybody he's going to be able to recruit back into it to make it any better. And do you remember, do you mind if I just do a very brief bit of Greek history or, ancient history? Pyrrhus was the king of Epirus. He had what was known as a Pyrrhic victory because he'd won 2 battles against the Romans in successive years, but he'd lost so many of his own troops that he had nobody else to bring back into the line for another battle. And that's why we have the concept of a Pyrrhic victory. Last night was a Pyrrhic victory. He's not got anybody else to bring into his government. He's already made noise. He's offered, I don't know how many people jobs in the hope that that would persuade them to vote for him yesterday. Lots of them have obviously said, sorry, I'm not interested. I wouldn't want to serve under you. And I wouldn't be surprised if there'll be a few ministerial resignations over the next couple of days, because there's a lot of discontent in the Conservative government, not just the backbenchers, but some of the ministers as well. So this can only get worse for the government. It may take a few months yet, but he won't last the year.
Yeah, but OK, let me put it this way. Who does the Labour Party most fear when it comes to those who might take over from the Prime Minister? From what you're saying, you don't fear any of them, which is a surprise.
Well, the weird thing, sometimes I can be very partisan, as you know, but a lot of the time, political life isn't very partisan. You have friends across the division, across the House. And I see lots of people sitting on the backbenches in the Tory party who are 10 times better than some of the ministers presently in the government, certainly in the cabinet. And that's going to be the problem. If Boris carries on as he seems to intend, things are not going to get better for him. Who do I mean, Labour, if I'm just thinking in the interest of the Labour Party, last night was brilliant. You have a lame duck. I mean, the definition of a lame duck Prime Minister when he can't even command the confidence of 3/5 of his own MPs. He's not going to be able to get, significant policies through Parliament. He's going to be endlessly worrying about, whether there's going to be another vote of confidence. I'm sure the Tory party will change the rules again if they want to. And we've got by-elections coming up. And then, of course, we've got the Privileges Committee. So I just think, in one sense, for the Labour Party, this is brilliant, but it's terrible for Britain. It's really terrible for Britain. We have a major international crisis, a food crisis because of what the Russians are doing in Ukraine, and war on our doorstep, as it were, or the doorstep of Europe in Ukraine, which may go on for a long time, involving an awful lot of death and mutilation and anguish, and proposing a real challenge economically for the whole of the rest of the world. And we've got a crisis in the UK. You just mentioned fuel prices. I mean, for my constituents in the Rhondda, that puts the price of filling your car up dramatically, and most people have to go, drive to work. So these problems require a government of moral authority. And the weirdest thing of all is the Tory party used to be the party of law and order. How on earth can there be 211 Tory MPs who think that lawmakers can be lawbreakers? How did that come to pass?
You know what? That's what we call a rhetorical question in the trade, and we're going to have to leave it there. But thank you very much indeed for joining us, Chris Bryant. Thank you.